excuse me. Kia ora, Libra. This is your reading for this, what is the full moon in Sagittarius, which is happening right now. It's the 14th today. So let's just see. Great Archer reaching up there and out. Very expansive. Very optimistic. Very hopeful. Let's see what Libra is looking at today. Looking at sort of managing. We've got the Knight of Discs. We will go through as we do to clarify. The Knight of Discs is really is a pretty much consummate sort of manager. But you're thinking ahead, Libra. I do see thinking forward, looking ahead, just like that Sagittarian Pegasus Archer, half horse, half man. What am I? Where am I? Who am I? Sorry about the light. So we have the Knight. We're kind of organising, gathering what has gone on before with the Prince of Discs, who is like the process of microbes and organisms in soil, the slow release, a preparation. This is about managing what comes from that, or managing what's around you at the moment, in a literal sense, just managing life at this current time. We get the Five of Wands. There is a level of conflict. Now, whether that's within you, whether it's sort of happening around you, possibly having to draw boundaries, like to make other people realize what those boundaries are, because they won't if you don't. You know what I mean? Yeah, the fives, all the fives are kind of, for want of using a better word, are all kind of learning. It's lesson cards, the fives. We learn something quite important here. We need this, whether it's sort of banging up against someone else in that it's not really an aggressive thing, it's just delineating boundaries. That's as much for your mental health or protection as it is for just laying down a line, because there's a review, Libra, going on. There is a review. Seven of Discs, another disc. We look back, we see what we're putting in here, what we're getting from this. It's quite a simple, energetic review sometimes, more than anything else. And then we will go through and clarify. Remember, these are really general readings, so take what works for you and leave what doesn't. As we move forward here, we get the Two of Wands. We do a review. We see what we've got out of what we have put into. Not that it has to be quantified all the time, but sometimes it does. Especially if you feel that there is a little bit of an imbalance in it. Somewhat imbalanced. Anyway, so after this review, we come to the Two of Wands. Traditionally, we're standing there, we've got our two wands, and we can actually look into that crystal ball in front of us, and we see what we have dominion over. In the Thoth deck, it is called dominion, because it's about what our sphere is, how we see it and how we work it, how we use our resources, pretty much. So let's go through and clarify for Libra. So whatever's going on, Libra, you know, generally it looks like a sort of catch-up time, catching up with yourself time. Where am I at right now? Where am I at? Do I feel depleted? Do I not? But I'm certainly reviewing the energetics. And this world is turning and becoming, is turning into a world that is all about energy on every level. Let's look at the Knight of Discs, please. We're in the energy age. Knight of Discs, yeah, it might be something to do with this moon. Something's triggered for, I don't like that word, but something's been illuminated. Something, you're seeing it. Look, I just see this. I just see this knight, right? Looking up. Sorry about this light. Looking up, we see. It's as if we're seeing. It's as if we're seeing ourselves sort of with a level of objectivity, Libra, actually, is what I see. Five of Wands for Libra. Five of Wands for Libra. We get the card of rest. Four of Swords. Oh, Five of Wands. And again, this is about, we get the Four of Swords, rest and respite. We see the figure retreating to a beautiful chamber to rest, to just lie and rest. In that zone, we get a lot of information as well as rest. And again, the Two of Wands. We really want to know what is ours. What is ours? What are my resources, and what am I going to do with them? Because there's a decision here. There's a decision. What am I going to do with my resources? How am I going to make them work for me? Because I do have them. It's not that I don't, you know, I have them. I have authority over them. No one else does. But, you know, sometimes you have to make sure that other people realize that, Libra, you know. Let's look at the Seven of Discs. Seven of Discs for Libra. And you know, when we see, like, all the sevens are about assessing something. So we're looking at our energy investments, however you want to look at it. We get another seven. The Seven of Wands, another wand. So we've got the Two of Wands twice here. We get the Seven of Wands. Do we feel like we have to stand up for our integrity, or we're kind of, again, it's like banging, it's sort of like banging up against something to say, hey, hang on a minute. But this can be a habit, you know, standing up for your beliefs or your integrity. Are you actually standing on solid ground? Because it's a bit pointless unless you are. The other aspect of that is, you know, that we pick our battles. Some things we may well be aware of. We don't necessarily have to tell people. We don't necessarily have to. Do you know what I mean? We pick our battles. It's interesting, Libra. This card often, we see a figure without maybe just wearing one shoe or been on quite uneven ground. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Anyway, 2 of Wands. I don't see. I see that there are, I think we get the King of Swords. Spring clean. Clean out. Clarity. Can be a little bit harsh. And the longer that you leave that, the longer that you sit on that sword and resist doing a clean and a clear, that sword, that king, I mean, this is just what I'm saying, will quite easily slay his own mind. You get my point. There's a time where it's time for a big clean out, a big sweep. I don't know why I get that, but yeah, there's something that there's a difficulty here. There's a feeling of like either not being, I don't know why, either not being seen, or someone is not understanding what you're saying. You're trying to express something, you know, that feeling, and they're either, you know, they're not getting it. Anyway, it's quite interesting, Libra, because it's all about balance, isn't it, in the end, and our own well-being and how we look after that for ourselves. So we've got 2 cards from Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairies. We've got, firstly, the little brownie, which is like a Scottish fairy, which likes to be helpful, but it is sort of unhelpful help, like getting the wrong end of the stick. Unhelpful help. Also a bit of an energy drain. I see a lot of that, like we're speaking energy before. There's a, like, this sort of little thing here, it's in its darkness. There's no colour here, and its darkness will be attracted by light. So we speak of sort of energy drainage. And then we have the Master Maker. I think you're well in a good position to, whatever's going on here, or in your life, whatever circumstance, situation, the process of this, of coming to a review and an understanding of the way that you use your own energy and the way that it plays out within your relationships. This whole process has given you a new notch on your belt, Libra, is what I see. You've been given the brand, and for want of a better word, it's just another lesson, isn't it? We never stop learning. We never stop moving forward and learning along the way. So that's really beautiful. I'm just going to, I've got these cards that sorry, Libra, they're really quite nice. Rocks, crystals, and the 4 directions in this deck. They're very simple, and I like that. There's nothing you know, there's nothing overly, oops, we've got so many coming out. There's nothing, it's just really succinct, and I like that because I love stones and rocks myself. We got emerald, actually, that came out twice, and I put it back because there were too many. Emerald. So remember a bit of self-love here. Libra never goes astray. We have unconditional love. Also, just in terms of this reading today, not everyone has that belief of working through contracts with particular individuals in this life, having had a history of doing this in other lives. Not everyone goes along with that, but there is an element in here in this reading of this not being an unfamiliar relationship / contract for you. Anyway, so Emerald, unconditional love, beauty, recovery, healing past lives. That is the beautiful Emerald. I love an emerald. I love an emerald. Oh, and can't forget the art oracle. We have something for the lovely Libras out there, art oracle. I'm just gonna, wow, yay. I don't think this has come out before. We get Diane Arbus. Very interesting woman. Quite an amazing photographer. We're looking at art, life, inspiration. Look directly at whatever you're avoiding. The bullseye is always in the margins. The subtleties, the margins. Listen when a city tells its secrets. I love that. How good is that? I love that. Diane Arbus. Another Diane. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this reading today, Libra. Enjoy this really beautiful glowy moon out there. And take good care, and we'll see you next time. Ka kite. Ka kite. Oh. Cherry.